recovery from flu doesn't mean you're out of the woods. There's a period of immune vulnerability lasting weeks after symptoms resolve when you're at higher risk for secondary infections. Understanding this and maintaining nutritional support through recovery helps prevent the frustrating cycle of getting sick again immediately after recovering. Your immune system is exhausted from fighting influenza. The intense inflammatory response, antibody production, and cellular immunity deployed against the virus have depleted resources. Meanwhile, mucosal barriers in your respiratory tract sustain damage from inflammation and coughing, creating opportunities for other pathogens to invade. Nutrient stores are depleted from the illness period when intake was poor but demands were high. Bacterial pneumonia following flu is one of the most serious complications and often occurs during this vulnerable recovery window. Your damaged respiratory tract lining and exhausted immune system create perfect conditions for bacterial invasion. Continued nutritional vigilance helps reduce this risk. Extended recovery nutrition should include continued higher protein intake for 1 to 2 weeks after acute symptoms resolve. Your immune system needs to regenerate white blood cells, repair damaged tissues, and rebuild antibody stores. 1.2 to 1.5 grams per kilogram body weight continues to support these processes. Micronutrient replenishment deserves specific attention. Zinc, selenium, vitamins A, C, and D, all consumed at elevated rates during infection, need deliberate replacement. Probiotic foods like yogurt, kefir, and fermented vegetables help rebuild gut microbiome disrupted by illness or antibiotics if you needed them for secondary infection. Vitamin A-rich foods like sweet potatoes, carrots, and leafy greens specifically support mucosal immunity, helping repair respiratory tract barriers. Protein at each meal supports ongoing antibody production. Even after you feel better, your immune system is still manufacturing memory cells and antibodies specific to the flu strain you just fought. This requires sustained amino acid availability. The secondary infection risk is real and significant. You need to recognize when new symptoms indicate secondary infection rather than prolonged flu. New fever after several fever-free days, worsening symptoms after initial improvement, productive cough with colored phlegm, or chest pain suggest possible bacterial pneumonia requiring medical evaluation. Use this recovery period opportunistically. Instead of immediately resuming whatever suboptimal diet you had before illness, view recovery as a reset opportunity. The 2 to 3 weeks you're focusing on recovery nutrition can establish better habits, regular protein intake, more vegetables, better hydration practices that continue benefiting you long-term. Lifestyle factors beyond nutrition matter for immune recovery. Sleep is crucial. Immune regeneration happens primarily during sleep, and you need adequate rest for weeks after illness, not just during acute symptoms. Stress management supports immune recovery. Chronic stress suppresses immunity. Gentle exercise resumption supports circulation and immune function without overtaxing your recovering system. Walks, light stretching, gradually increasing intensity as energy returns. The seasonal reality is that flu season lasts months. You might recover in February, but flu is still circulating through April. Ongoing exposure risk means maintained immune support matters. Some people encounter multiple different flu strains in a single season. Prior infection doesn't protect against different strains. Repeated infections throughout a season deplete nutritional reserves progressively. Someone getting their third respiratory infection of the winter is starting from a depleted baseline. Breaking this cycle requires sustained nutritional improvement, not just acute illness management. The long-term perspective recognizes that chronic nutritional inadequacy increases both infection frequency and severity. People who consistently eat poorly get sick more often and take longer to recover. Investment in ongoing adequate nutrition, not just expensive supplements, but consistent adequate intake of protein, produce, and varied whole foods, reduces this vulnerability. Post-flu immunity optimization is about more than just preventing immediate reinfection. It's about rebuilding reserves, establishing healthier patterns, and recognizing that recovery is a weeks-long process requiring deliberate nutritional attention even after you feel normal again.